Ladies, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Please be advised that this movie has no nudity.
I'm out.
Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
Yeah. I just have to wee-wee.
And we're back. Just like the Five Musketeers.
What the hell am I looking at?
A country where culture means pornography and slasher films.
If you had these boobs, you'd be obsessed with them too.
Very exciting, big event. Everybody's excited, huh?
We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends.
We're Cinemadness podcast.
Are we starting now?
Yes.
It was just okay. I don't know what's happening. This is a whole new thing to me. We haven't done.
I've never your train of thought?
I've never played. Oh, a train joke. Oh, we're starting that. We're starting that way.
I'm trying to get us on track.
Oh my god.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh man. All right. So we are back with our celebrating ensembles. This is part 2. This is the Cinemadness podcast. I am Adam. I am joined with Roman
Diesel.
Okay, and Alison is with us too.
I choose you.
Oh, the Ralph Wiggum wins. The Ralph Wiggum wins. We that's it tonight. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Oh man, this was easy.
Man, you really looked out as the editor on this one, man.
Right? Quickest podcast we've ever done. 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Okay, well, this is still Roman's show, so I'm just here to welcome you, and I am handing the host reins over to the Roman.
Man, the reins are so heavy. Man, but it's okay. I think that we can carry it together as an ensemble. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing. We're focusing on. This is part 2 of our ensemble dive. Of course, for those of you who listened previously to our celebration of Rex Manning Day in Empire Records. Thank you.
It was just much. Rex Manning Day. That's all we talked about.
In Empire Records is what I said. Just saying. We are actually going to change positions and maybe board a train. A very quick train. A bullet train. That's right. We're going to go with Alison's selection of Bullet Train. Alison, you want to tell us a little bit about it? And then we're going to talk a little bit about the ensemble piece and what's important.
Yes, I chose this movie because I had seen it once and I liked it, and I hadn't seen it again. And I was like, yeah, I think I remember liking this movie, and it was a good ensemble movie. Let's watch it again. It's basically a cast of characters or an ensemble that are all on a bullet train in Japan. And they are all basically trying to get something, whether that be protecting a person, whether that be killing somebody, whether that be trying to get a briefcase with money. They're all tied into doing something bad to get something. Yeah.
I never said it was a briefcase.
Okay, what's a case?
No,
so,
it's
I don't know. What is that from?
Yeah, it's the line from the film.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. He's in an episode. Right.
But so they're all going to Kyoto.
Yes, Kyoto.
That's their. They're going from Tokyo to Kyoto.
Yes.
They've all been
traveling
tasked.
very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And Ladybug's not even supposed to be there.
Mm-mm.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into it. So our focus is going to be on ensembles themselves. Mm-hmm. So why don't we talk about the actors that are in the film or the characters? Because you know me, those of you who've listened to our podcast, I'm absolutely horrible with names, but I can explain the gist of them. Mm-hmm. You know, oh yeah, he's the big tall guy. Oh yeah, he's the not so tall guy. Oh yeah, the lady with the blue eyes. Yeah, I got it. So why don't we talk about the characters, Adam? When we talk Bullet Train, what stands out about the characters in it, and who do you remember? And let's talk about it.
What stands out to me is that a ton of them are actors from comic book movies.
Yeah, you're right. Like who?
I don't have their full names. I just have their character names. Tangerine was Kick-Ass.
Okay.
Lemon was Miles Morales' dad in Spider-Verse.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The Hornet was in Joker and Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
she was Domino.
Yeah, she was lucky in Domino. That was her. Her superpower is luck.
Yeah. Of course, there's Michael Shannon.
Yes. General Zod.
And of course, Brad Pitt was in Deadpool 2.
Yes. He wasn't translucent. The boys got me stupid. I forgot his character, but he was the invisible guy, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And you only see him when he dies.
for 2 seconds. Yeah.
And the director was an uncredited director for John Wick.
Well, and he was also the stuntman of Brad Pitt in
Yes.
multiple projects.
Yes.
Why would he be uncredited for directing an entire movie?
I don't know. I didn't go deep.
John Woo did all those, correct?
No.
He did one of them.
No.
John Woo didn't do any.
No John Wick movies.
Oh, am I just saying that because they both have John in the title?
Maybe.
John Woo does those type of movies.
Yeah,
okay.
That new movie coming out. The
Oh
one
yeah,
about
yeah. That's
Santa.
right. That's where I'm getting. That's horrible. Okay, so maybe 2 people directed John
Yes.
Wick, and they didn't give this guy credit.
Yeah, it might have been a contract thing. Who knows? I don't know.
I feel bad for him.
I don't know. He did pretty well with Deadpool 2 and
No, I agree. But John Wick is so. Those are good movies. So anyways, okay. You know what stood out for me in ensemble movie is Mr. Brad Pitt, because I don't know what he had done recently up until this movie, because he kind of has been fallen by the wayside, right?
Yeah, the only thing I remember was World War Z.
Right. So I think he'd been doing maybe a couple of like cameos or whatever, like Deadpool, and he was going through his whole issue with Angelina Jolie. So he'd been like hanging low. So I don't know if this was necessarily like a comeback movie, but it was like, oh look, there's Brad Pitt and his Brad Pitt funny, nonchalant character like he plays in Ocean's 11 and Snatch, and
I
He's
got
just
a
so
theory,
good at it.
I
He
got
is.
a theory to Brad's Pitt character, but please continue.
Well, no, I was just going to say he clearly looked older, right, in this movie, and he had like the long hair, but he just looked so like good, and he just carried the movie. He carried the ensemble. Like he was just really, really good. Like I forgot how much I loved watching him act in a good movie.
So
He was very entertaining
Yeah,
in this movie.
100%.
Okay, so Adam, you touch on this. Who does Brad Pitt play?
He plays Ladybug.
Okay.
Ladybug.
And who? Tell me more about Ladybug.
He is he's a contract killer. He's not very good at what he does. Oh, he is very good at what he does. He just has bad luck. And there's a little montage of bad things happening, but things work out for him, but never in a good way.
Yeah. So he actually reminds me a lot of Jules in Pulp Fiction, because Ladybug is coming back and he's trying to be a better person,
right,
and be positive and not necessarily kill.
Right.
He's very
He wants
hesitant.
snatch and grab jobs.
Yes. He's very hesitant on getting back in the job. And that was reminiscent of Jewel, which was played by John Travolta. He didn't want to get back in. Like he was just kind of like chill and let me eat my... Why did I talk like that? Let me eat my Royale with cheese. You know what I mean?
You
Like
mean Vincent?
Sorry, Vincent. He was like Vincent.
Because Jules didn't want to do it either.
Jules didn't either. You're right. Jules didn't want to either.
He wanted to wander the earth.
He's a little bit of both. I think his mindset is more like Jules, but Vincent, he's more like funny and nonchalant, like Vincent. So I think they're like very similar.
Yeah, it's a very Tarantino-esque film.
Yeah, he was just... He didn't want... The Ladybug doesn't want to hurt people.
No, and he has. In fact, his therapist is trying to get him to not hurt people. Who was originally going to be played by Keanu Reeves, but that got cut out.
Yeah, that never really got expanded.
Yeah, because of scheduling.
So here is my theory. Okay, are you ready, folks out there in listening land? Here you go. My theory is, on this day, Brad Pitt character, Ladybug, is really the older version of his character that he played in The Mexican.
I like that.
Look at you.
I accept that as canon.
Because if you think about it, they are right on the same type of beat.
Yep.
And kind of where he Forrest Gumps his way, even where he explains things, and even how he kicks ass. Because in the
that scene with Bad Bunny, man.
oh yeah. So I want to go into more what makes an ensemble. I was going to go over the individual
characters, right? That's
yeah.
how this all started.
Yeah. So
he kind of has a little bit of his Ocean's 11 character too, because he eats a lot in this movie as well.
But he's always eating. That's like his thing. That's the Brad Pitt thing.
I can think of some where he wasn't. Just saying.
I will take your word for it. I have no transition to that.
Yeah,
But
I just know
I
it's
just
very well
remember-
known. He's eating and almost.
I just know in all the Ocean's movies, he's constantly snacking. And like in this one, he was like eating the wasabi peas and he's like, ooh, wasabi. Like he didn't even know that they were going to be wasabi flavored. I thought that was funny. Like you're in Japan. What?
I love wasabi peas so much.
Like they're green. Why did you? No, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're
And
fine.
He
and at
makes
the
me
end
laugh.
at the end of the first Ocean's 11, he actually gets full.
Yeah.
He's eating. He's like,
Yeah.
oh.
He's great. Okay. So yes.
But Brad Pitt's character isn't actually the first one that we're introduced to. We're actually introduced to the dad,
Yes.
who is not mourning his son, concerned about his son who's in the hospital. And that's basically one of the pivotal
Right. He's seeking out
storylines.
vengeance.
Right.
Yeah. So what do we know about that dad? What do we know about him? And how does he play into this ensemble cast?
Well, we don't know anything at first, but we find out that
Oh, by the way, spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen this
yeah.
film, we're going to spoil it, so heads up.
and if you haven't seen the film, I highly recommend you stop listening right now. Go to Netflix. It's on Netflix. Watch Bullet Train. Pour yourself a drink, have a pizza, and have a good time just watching this movie.
Yeah, and maybe
then come back up.
Fuji water.
Come back to us. Yeah.
Yeah, have Fuji water, kind of relax.
He was the elder, right?
Well, that's the grandfather.
No, that's his dad.
Okay. Who was the guy? His son was the one that was pushed off of a balcony.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember his name. But anyways, he's on the train.
Yeah, the dad of the son who got pushed off the building.
It's like the spider that ate the fly.
Exactly.
The dad of the son that got pushed off the building.
Exactly. So we are introduced to that character, and we're introduced to his plight. And through his introduction, we see a part of the ensemble cast, the elder, who later has a very pivotal role towards the third act and climax of the film. You feel relaxed?
Yep.
Good. So, thoughts on those two characters, the elder and the dad?
I love the elder. He's so cool.
Oh, the elder's absolutely awesome.
Especially in the last part of the movie. He's so awesome. But the dad is just a guy.
Now, the elder does eventually face off with Michael Shannon's character,
Right, the White Death.
the White Death. Now, I did tell my wife when we were rewatching it to prepare for this, I go, you know what? Something tells me that this feels like a Christopher Walken type role, White Death. Like,
It's Michael Shannon being Michael Shannon.
he is. I mean, he's great for the record.
And when I was watching it, I even wrote down: is he actually acting, or is he just being Michael Shannon? Because and he's really good at being Michael Shannon, and I'm conflicted. Is he a good actor, or is he just good at playing himself in roles?
The majority of the movies, he's just acting like himself.
Yeah, and he's fantastic.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think
I was waiting for him to scream, "I'm going to get your son. I'm coming for your son."
He's just a weird dude.
He seems like a good dude.
Apparently, he sings too. I heard recently.
Yeah, apparently pretty decent.
And he didn't like playing General Zod.
No.
Well, then don't do it.
Would he
anymore.
rather play Colonel Sanders? What's the matter? Is it chicken?
Wow,
Yeah, I really went.
throwing a Spaceballs thing in there.
Oh yes.
Well,
Just wait till we get to celebrating Mel Brooks.
Oh man, that's gonna be so much fun.
man, you guys hate me. You seriously do. All of you. No, you do.
We love you.
So if we're talking about ensembles, in their little group, you have to introduce the prince because she is part of their story,
That's true.
right?
Yes. So let's introduce Prince, played by Joey King.
Joey King, yes.
Thank you
from
I-
the act.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I actually knew
Very
the character-
good.
Yeah. It was 2 syllables. Well, 3 syllables. Joey King. Yeah.
And it's a guy's name, so you're
Yep.
like, oh, I won't
Yeah.
screw this up.
Yeah, he does. She doesn't have 3 names, so I'm good. But yeah, so why don't you go ahead and tell us about the prince?
So she's there and she's dressed like a young little schoolgirl. And she's basically saying that they call her the prince because they wanted a boy. She doesn't say who her dad is yet, so we don't find that out until later. But she's basically, she calls her, I guess, henchman on the phone and says, you know, if I don't call you every 15 minutes or I don't pick up the phone, kill the little boy, because the boy is in the hospital that was pushed off, that the guy that we can't remember his name. his son was pushed off a balcony, and he's basically clinging to his life. I forget his name too, but you see her, and she takes this gun and she wraps these old school 80s
Hair ties.
ponytail holders on it have those giant, pink plastic balls that you guys didn't have to deal with this, but back in the 80s, when you wrapped your hair up with that, if you didn't do it right, those balls would snap on your knuckles and it hurt like hell. Like, I can remember the feeling. It's horrible.
I had a girl later in life. I figured out that she probably had a crush on me, and she physically abused me because she liked me. Go figure. But she wrapped it around my wrist, and she would bam snap it onto my wrist. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like death ponytail holders. They're horrible.
So if you're a redhead with freckles whose name eludes me, went to Monterey in 1991-92, thank you. You're welcome.
Memories.
So it's basically foreshadowing something, the way she's setting this gun up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
And that she just hands it to the guy.
Correct.
After
right.
they come confront.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's pretty much all we get from her at that moment.
All right. So, and those characters are also right around the same time period. We're introduced to Tangerine and Lemon.
Ah, the twins.
Yes.
The twins who are not really twins.
Who are not twins.
Kind of like a Money Train with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the twins' backstory, and that's why I keep saying this is like an Edgar Wright thing, because they always go back to their flashbacks, especially when they're doing the counting of the deaths. Mm-hmm. That's like so Edgar Wright when they're trying to count the people that they've killed, because Tangerine says 16, Lemon says 15.
No, 17, 16.
Oh no, it was 16, 15, and then they forgot about the one guy, so it made it 17.
They forgot about the bystander or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Who's actually the cameo director.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Lemon, right? Lemon. He's obsessed with Thomas the Tank Engine,
which is a great character aspect.
Yeah, as a way to read people.
So, are you familiar with Thomas the Tank Engine? Show.
I'm aware that it exists.
Okay.
Andrew Koji is the Kimura. He's the dad.
Oh, Kimura. Okay.
Kimura.
Did you watch Thomas the Tank Engine with your child?
Yes.
Okay. So this was actually really good, because every one of those silly trucks and stuff on there and engines. Oh yeah, we went to Day of the Thomas. We rode on Thomas.
Yeah. We
rode on Thomas.
We rode
on Thomas a long time ago. That's right. But it was just funny because
wasn't it like an hour drive away?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And it was so stupid. It was just a regular old train that they just stuck Thomas's face on the front of it. Like, I thought we would be in like an actual like cool Thomas train, not like an old like, I don't know what I thought, but anyways, so I thought this was really cute how he was like comparing everybody's personality that he meets, and he was just like putting them into all these little characters on Thomas the Tank Engine, and you didn't want to be a diesel.
And why didn't you want to be a diesel, Adam?
I don't remember.
All right. Alison, same question.
The diesels were out for themselves.
Yes, and always creating mischief.
Yes, they were creating chaos and stuff. So.
And Lemon was looking for his diesel.
He was looking for his diesel.
Somewhere on this train is a diesel.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
And Tangerine just thought it was so stupid. He was always just like, stop with the Thomas stuff. It was funny.
So their characters are intertwined because they're on a side mission to do what, Adam?
To deliver both the case and the son of the White Death to Kyoto
And
safely.
And the son is played by who?
The son is played by that guy.
I don't know who the son is played by.
That guy.
Logan Larman.
Yes.
Good old Logan.
Good old Logan
I mean,
Larman.
anybody could have played this guy. He barely had any lines.
But he was the Bernie.
Yeah.
Yes. I was about to say,
Literally.
but yeah, he
especially did the waving.
Yeah, and when he was unconscious during the montage of 15 versus 16, as he's just laying back, and it was just great physical comedy. And that I can see, which would be an Edgar Wright type of scene where It was physical. It was like a ballet. It was like a dance where you see Lemon, Tangerine, and the Sun getting out of this really highly contested area with bullets and shots going on, so on and so forth. Another movie that kind of reminded me of a little bit was oh my heavens, oh boy,
That's a long title for a movie.
The movie literally with oh boy, not Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
The Good Guys?
No. Oh boy, it's not
Any Shane Black movie?
No. With Paul Giamatti as the bad guy, the hot Italian woman from The Matrix. She plays a lactating mistress of the night. Nothing. Clive Owen.
Oh.
Sin City?
No. Clive Owen.
We'll need to come back to it.
Paul
Wow.
Giamatti. Yeah, boy, this is really good. You
We're
know
gonna have to edit this.
Lactating?
Yeah.
Clive Owen. I love Clive Owen.
Shoot him up. Thank you. Shoot him up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With these.
Paul Giamatti was a bad guy in Shoot
Oh,
'Em
he
Up.
was a fun bad guy.
He was.
Absolutely fun. But no, we're
Funny how we all recognize it now.
For Lemon and Tangerine, where they're like discussing what moves to do, and they do the spin around, and they open the door as the car is spinning around, and they shoot out of it like and shoot them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Except they're not picking up a baby. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But that's the tie-in there. So you have that block of characters. You have Brad Pitt, who is boarding this train, and he is met by a cameo, but an ongoing cameo by what character? The usher.
Oh, the usher.
Yeah, by Hero.
Yeah, by Hiro. Yeah, which I could listen to him speak Japanese all day. He says he just speaks it very beautifully.
I thought you were talking about who Ladybug is always on the phone with, because that's a big cameo
that's a big
as well.
cameo,
So
too.
that's his boss.
Yeah.
Or his handler. Yeah, his handler.
Yes.
Who's talking him through the job.
There's a few cameos in this movie.
There sure is. We'll talk about another one that,
When the sex stuff happens.
Well, yeah, that too. But which is funny because I read when prepping for this, it was almost like a trade-off because Brad Pitt was in The Lost City.
Oh, yeah.
That has Sandra Bullock and some guy that we haven't brought up yet. Should we go ahead? And
Yeah.
And
go ahead. Who's that guy?
Channing Tatum.
Magic Mike himself.
Of course. Sex stuff?
Sex stuff?
Sex stuff.
Yeah, so...
Is this when the sex stuff happens?
Or if you're talking about Magic Mike 3, it's when the non-sex stuff happens.
Still burnt on that, huh?
I have
100%.
I have no reason to see Magic Mike 3. I saw Magic Mike 2. I saw Magic Mike 1.
You have no reason to see any of them.
Look. Anyways, I digress. So Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock were in a movie called Lost City, and Brad Pitt is in that film as well. But he's there at kind of very beginning of the film, and then...
And we never see him again. He gets off. He gets off before Kyoto. Side note, did any of you see Lost City?
Yes!
No. Okay, I started it when I was in the hospital, and I lasted 15 minutes. Not because it was terrible, but I think I fell asleep.
It was really...
never picked it up
enjoyable.
again. It wasn't bad, I guess.
It was actually so watchable. My dad, who doesn't like stupid movies...
It was pretty stupid.
It had good action. It had very good action.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like Romancing the Stone.
It is.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Very much so.
Yes. It was.
So
it was.
I'll give it a watch.
It was a good homage to that, and there was more to it. Brad Pitt was great, but anyways, so it was kind of a payoff where they appeared in this film with him, kind of. So hey, you act in our film, we'll act in yours, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, Channing Tatum didn't even have to do much acting.
Yeah, he's basically the same type of character that he was in This Is the End,
Yeah, he had like 2 lines. So
yeah.
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
We also have the wolf
Now, the wolf is introduced. He wasn't almost...
on the first stop.
Yeah, on the first stop, but he wasn't a part of the ensemble per se because he just had one-on-one scene with Brad Pitt.
He was
But his
connected
dead
to
body-
the ensemble.
He was.
'Cause
He has a connection with the Hornet.
Right, with the Hornet. Yeah.
And, of course, Brad
But you're right. He was one of the only ones that didn't act with anybody else.
Right.
But his dead body does.
Yeah, his dead
Oh,
body.
yeah, that's true.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
So-
fight was so funny.
Well, tell us more about the fight because you brought it up a couple times. Let's go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, because he kills with he kills with a knife. That's what he's known for. Big ass Bowie knife.
Who?
The wolf.
The wolf.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. I'm just trying to help out the audience.
Yes.
Is our audience that stupid?
Well, if they haven't seen the movie.
Okay. Yeah, he kills with a knife, and he's there for vengeance for his wedding. Everyone died and got poisoned, and he blames...
killed everybody in my wedding.
But Brad Pitt has no idea what's happening, and he's just fighting in defense. He's not fighting back. Brad Pitt's character is kind of a pacifist when he's allowed to be,
Like his character in The Mexican.
yes, and so he's blocking, and all of a sudden the wolf throws his knife, and he uses the case to block it, and it bounces right back into the wolf's heart, and he dies on him, and that equates to Brad Pitt's character's bad luck. Because he doesn't want to kill anymore. He doesn't want people to die, but people die around him, just like the guy that fell onto his car. That's another great scene because he's like, "We'll get you to a hospital, buddy."
Well, and that's part of the introduction to his character.
Yeah.
Where you see a montage of his past, where he's telling his handler, which we eventually find out is Sandra Bullock, played by Sandra Bullock.
It's Sandra Bullock, played by Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
It's not Sandra Bullock, played by Sandra Bullock.
No.
She's got a name. I think it's Maria. I think it's funny that Brad Pitt, Ladybug, it takes him forever, or he has to ask her to help him. He can never recognize who anybody is. He's like, oh, I thought he looked familiar. Like, it takes him forever to realize why that person was trying to kill him, or where he saw. We haven't talked about her yet. The Hornet. The Hornet?
Yeah.
Yes, the Hornet. Where he knows her from. Like, everything's like, where do I know him from?
Which is kind of imitating his life.
Yes. Yeah. Because when he opened the doors and the wolf is just standing there staring at him, and he sees he's got this long knife in his hand, and you could tell he's like, I think I know this guy, but is he going to try and kill me? Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, it's just funny to me. And then he didn't kill him.
And
he
he
actually killed himself.
When he says he's going to kill him, he's like, dude, I don't even know
Right,
you.
I don't even know you. He just wanted to get off. Was he going to get off the train at that point?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
He had the case. His
That's
job
right,
was to
that's
get the
right,
case. It
yeah.
was a snatch and grab.
Yeah, he should have just barreled Bad Bunny over.
No, Bad Bunny probably would have still pursued him even there.
That's true. He would have.
He was
out for vengeance.
He was on a suicide
His
mission.
bride died with blood coming out. That scene
her
was
eyes.
so good. She was just vomiting blood all over the entire wedding party. Everybody's like pooping blood, throwing up blood. Ugh.
Out their
Blood
eyes.
everywhere.
It was like Stand By Me with the pie eating scene.
Yeah, it was
but-
a lard-ass scene.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gross.
So the moral of the story is, kids, don't get married in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Don't hire the Hornet.
As your baker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. What are your credentials? I can't follow up with any of your references. Yeah, because they're dead. Oh, like all of them? Yeah, every single one. Huh. You're hired. Okay.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Seriously? Yeah. You're hired. You don't want to ask any questions? Nope. Totally está bien. Muchas gracias. Okay. So we are introduced to Bad Bunny, a fight scene. Now, in terms of the ensemble, any other characters that we're missing? We've
Just
pretty
the
much-
Hornet.
The Hornet.
Yeah. So the Hornet, we are introduced to Wind. So, Alison, did you want to touch on that?
She's in the bar and she's dressed up like a waitress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he is on the phone with the handler and he's like, where do I know this person from? And then he's like, oh, she's the caterer from the wedding. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
And then
the caterer from the
yeah,
wedding
that was
he
Bad Bunny's wedding.
Yeah, he was there to assassinate someone too.
Right. They were both, I think they were both out there to get the same person.
Right.
Right. Okay. So now she's out to get him for taking her mark.
Well, no, she's out to get him because she's
owed
being
money.
Yeah, she's owed money, and she's
For
supposed
that
to
job.
she's supposed
For that job that he took.
right,
Right.
and
right,
the
right.
case had the money in
Still,
it.
yes. She kind of confused me because I didn't feel they didn't give her a lot of screen time.
No,
in
they
my
didn't.
mind.
No,
So
she was on and off.
yeah, so they're arguing and they're fighting and
A lot of bitch.
yeah. Oh my god,
Oh.
every other word was bitch.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street. Hey, bitch.
Hey, bitch.
bitch.
Oh no, you're thinking of the shitty Rick and Morty version.
Oh,
I don't know what that is, but everything was just like, come at me, bitch. Oh yeah, you think so, bitch? Like she was always pausing.
Right. Even when she was dying, she's like, bitch.
Yeah, it was just really, it was ridiculous. So how does she die?
That scene was so cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She has the snake venom.
So Brad Pitt's character Ladybug is in this fight with Hornet, and you find out Hornet killed people in the wedding because she infused some really toxic snake venom into the pastries that were delivered to the party. Bad Bunny missed that because we find out Brad Pitt accidentally spilled wine on his white suit, and Bad Bunny's character went to go clean up. He comes back and everyone's dead. So, of course, naturally, he's thinking, what's going on? He puts two and two together and somehow Forrest Gumps his way to find
Forrest
Brad Pitt.
Gumps his way.
Yeah. So, a reference to the Mexican, love it. Somehow you Forrest Gumped your way into this, but we're waiting for that phone call the embassy's going to call.
I need to go back and watch that movie.
Oh, I love that
Camino.
film.
And that dog.
That's also an ensemble cast, technically. But anyways, so moving forward. So
the fight with the venom.
So you find out that's her thing is with venom.
Yeah, she has her syringes.
So Brad Pitt is then plucked with a venom stick.
Yep.
That she was going to.
No plunge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he takes it. He gets hit in the neck. Then Brad Pitt's character Ladybug takes it quickly out of his neck and stabs Hornet with it and says, "You have an antidote, right?" And she was playing coy at first, and then finally she pulled out the antidote. She was going to inject herself.
Yep. And he grabs her hand and puts it in him.
And that's where the comedy ensues because it's like, you got two, right?
Yeah, you got another one, right?
Another one, right?
She's like, no.
What kind of assassin that poisons people doesn't have multiple anti-venoms?
And she's like, why would I? That's not the point.
And then he's like,
Do you want
some
some
water?
water?
You want a blanket?
Can I get you anything? Because she's just crawling and she's starting to bleed from her eyes.
yeah, she's starting to
And he's
convulse.
like, oh.
Did you
Can
want
I
me to
get
hold
you
your
some
hand?
water?
And he's being so sincere too. He's like,
She does pour something in her eyes at one point. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing that for.
She's just, I think her character is just frantic and
Yeah.
just, she's probably her character's probably thinking that somehow she can avoid it because of her relationship. She's not seeing the irony in it.
Because she's full of bloody eyes.
No kidding. No kidding.
She's got bloody eyes. No?
No.
I was
Well,
thinking
she's
hungry
dead.
eyes.
I know. I was trying to do Betty Davis eyes.
Do.
I have in my notes Carver. Who's Carver?
Well, we eventually find out who Carver, but he's the guy that basically, because Brad Pitt steps in for Carver, he was originally supposed to take this job.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Carver called in sick.
Yes.
Carver, we find out, okay, 3, 2, 1. This is a spoiler, people. So we find out Carver is the person that kills the Red Death's
Wife.
The
wife.
The white death.
The
White Death.
Sorry,
Wife.
the White.
Yes.
White Death's wife, in a contracted hit.
And the scene where you find out about it at the end, I had to rewind it twice just because the way Michael Shannon acts, because he's all like fucked up and you can't understand a word he said. He's like, I'm not Carter. Carter's sick. He's like, I want Carter. I want Carter. Carter. I want Carter.
Well, because his mouth is banged up and
Yeah,
it shows.
yeah.
And that's what makes this movie fun is because Michael Shannon's character is completely beat up. Like he's fought two guys, really highly skilled guys at the same time, and they're all beat up to high hell.
And jumping ahead, we find out that he orchestrated this entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the entire trip. Everyone that was on the train was his doing.
Yeah, he bought everything.
Now, real quick before we get into that, who plays Carter, by the way?
Carver. Don't say my son's name and make him sound like he's...
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Forgive me.
Oh, I don't know who plays Carver.
You should know.
Yeah.
I should?
Yeah.
This guy, he
This
has
guy,
two R's in his name.
I forgot he played Carver.
He's not memorable.
I kind of checked out at the end of this movie. I know. It was late at night, and I was like, I've already seen this.
Adam, same question. Who plays Carver.
It's Canada's sweetheart, Ryan Reynolds.
Wrexham!
My future husband.
There you go. All right.
With Blake Lively. I won't get rid of her. Why would you?
Hi, Blake. It's me. You can forget that restraining order.
Blake,
Thank you.
Blake listens to this.
She's one of our 2 listeners.
Yes. Is that who's listening to us in Wales?
Canada.
Welcome to Canada. So anyway, to digress. Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. So the motivations between the White Death was to do what?
To get all of the revenge, because his wife dying was a domino effect of all of these people acting, and it all led to the death of his son, which led to the death of his wife, which they all had a part in somewhere, somehow.
And he dislikes his daughter.
Yes.
I felt kind of sorry for her at the end.
Now, did he purposely put his daughter on that train?
You would have to have, yeah. She thought she was the person who was going to kill him. I mean, she was out to kill him.
Right, because her gun...
With her own gun.
...is what messed up his face.
Right.
Which, that was pretty cool. For the record.
Oh, karma!
But that's a good question. Did she buy a ticket? Or did he force her on the train? Because he supposedly bought every seat on that train.
No, I don't think so, because there's a scene with Michael Shannon's character and Joey King where they're describing, I think he says, like, what are you doing here, so on and so forth. It's in Russian.
Oh, yeah, because he was surprised she was there.
Yeah.
So I think he caught wind of the plan, and she wanted to spoil the plan. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
But those are the main characters in terms of how it's acted, in terms of how it goes about.
And everybody when they're introduced, they have their backstories. Mm-hmm. And it's really stylized, Edgar Wright style. And it's very it's every character is a character that you would want to have an action figure of. Is kind of how I went. They're very bombastic, over the top, very archetypal, just characters that you want to see more of.
Like Shaggy. You said bombastic.
Oh.
I was thinking it wasn't me. I'm like, how does that work?
I was thinking, from Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
Because I said action figure, so.
Oh, no.
Oh, gee, Scoob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the characters are great. They're what drive this train.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we just address the elephant in the room? How does Tangerine catch up to a bullet train? So there's a scene
where...
He
just jumped on it.
Yeah, Tangerine, Mr. Percy Jackson himself, Mr. Craven, literally...
Kick-ass.
Yeah, he gets kicked out of the train.
He is Craven, isn't he?
He is.
Good Lord, that movie's going to bomb.
I mean, it's by Sony, so it's a good version, and MCU-ish.
That's true.
Don't mention anything about Venom. But anyways.
Don't talk about Morbius.
Oh, boy. Oof. But anyways, so there's a scene now. Kind of.
I can answer this question for you.
Go ahead, please.
Because
I was going to him and haw my way through it for about 5 minutes.
He gets on the train that has already left the station. He makes the jump and climbs in the open door because it is a movie. Yeah, it's fiction.
And now I have Last Train to Clarksville stuck in my head by the Monkeys.
By the Monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly how it went. That sounded like Flight of the Bumblebee.
or Miserloo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Something we didn't touch on is the motivations of Tangerine and Lemon. What are their goals?
They're to deliver the... We discussed this already.
Yes, the money and the sun.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny because they continue to get a phone call by a voice who's basically the middle guy. Who,
it's the Yakuza.
Yeah. Who is checking on their status and says, hey, you need to get out of the station.
Yeah. Every stop, they need to check in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
And every stop they check in, and it's even funnier every time.
yeah, and it just adds.
What's
to
the what's the Japanese character, the kid's character? Do you remember what Momo?
manga?
Oh, the big
Mamoto
plushy
or something?
thing.
Yeah, so there's
Momomo?
something like that. There's an entire car dedicated to him or her.
That was the Hornet.
Yes, and they're just like the creature person is just going down or whatever, and then so they're hiding the son when he was bleeding out his eyeballs and he's dead. They put the little glasses on him.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
That was,
but what was funny about that was I get him confused. Tangerine is like, well, what is Momoa or whatever, and he's like, that's the kids show that comes on directly after Thomas. Like Thomas just went with everything.
Yeah.
What was it? The tank engine? No, it's the train engine.
That was the other way.
Or vice versa.
You know, Thomas? Yeah, the train engine? It's the tank engine.
It's a tank engine.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Overall, like, it was just... Go ahead.
And Lemon and Tangerine's story was kind of sad.
It was.
It was really sad because one found out one was dead and he really wasn't dead. So the other one was like all like gung ho, I have nothing to lose. He dies and the other guy wakes up and oh man, it was a roller coaster.
It was
of emotions.
sad, and they always showed back when they were like little, and
Uh-huh.
it was just a cute brother story.
When they would watch West Ham together, and the song that was playing during their montage was the song that's played in West Ham.
Yeah, it's the West Ham fighting song.
Fart song, which is
Blowing
played
bubbles,
in Ted Lasso.
Forever blowing bubbles.
Yes.
Which somewhere there's a guy
forever
named Bubbles
blowing
is going to
bubbles.
stop playing my shit out there.
But at the very end, when Tangerine is talking to the prince, and she's like, "You have to help me, sir. He's out to get me. He's going to kill me. He's going to frame it on you. Blah blah blah." He's like,
You're
"Okay,
very
you'll be
good."
okay. You'll be okay." And she turns around, and he sees the sticker of Diesel on her back, and he's like, "Wait a minute." So he put that on her to tell him. She's a Diesel. There's your Diesel that was on. It was just a good scene. They were two of the best characters.
They really were.
They were. They absolutely. But we've...
And I've got a new brother now. Really? Fuck no.
So we mentioned, so what's the relation with Ladybug, played by Brad Pitt, and Lemon and Tangerine? How are they related?
Joburg.
Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Johannesburg.
Joburg.
Yeah. So elaborate a little bit more for our audience.
Well, all three of them were on a job, and Tangerine shot him twice.
Yes, shot me twice. Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry for shooting you
Twice.
Actually, it was twice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
That scene with him, with Ladybug and Tangerine in the little area where the food and stuff was, with the cute little Asian
my
girl that
God,
comes
yeah.
by, and she's like, "Hello," and I know this was in the previews too, so
Yeah.
I think everybody saw it. And she's like, "Hello, anything to drink or eat?" And he's like, "No," and he's like, "Actually, I would like a bottle of water, the
Sparkling?
fizzy one, the sparkling." And then he's like, "Oh, I don't have any money," and he makes Tangerine buy it, and then she's like 1,000 whatever, and he's like, "That's like 100 quid for that bottle of
That was
water,
10 quid.
10 quid."
Yeah.
That
You
was
owe
a
me 10
funny
quid.
scene, and then he just takes a sip of it and chucks it at his face.
Well, what you're missing in that scene is they were in the middle of a fight.
Right,
and they
and then
stopped.
she walks through. Hello.
Yeah. And they're awkwardly just. They remind me very much of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Where you have a tension, then there's a moment to break the tension, then we're back into
Yeah.
it.
or the first fight scene in Kill Bill.
Yeah, that. Thank you very much. Where they're just pausing for a minute.
Yeah,
and
because the kid comes home.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that was so good. Mommy's just talking to her old friend. So we have that. So we talked about Tangerine and Lemon's relation to Ladybug. We're forgetting one character. What character are we forgetting, guys? Don't worry, I'll wait. It's pretty pivotal.
The bidet. The snake.
The snake?
No, and no.
The lady that's trying to get into the bathroom, and he's like,
No.
occupied. Oh.
No.
The old lady. The
Oh, the old lady that shushes everybody.
No, although that's a great
The
scene.
quiet car fight.
Let's talk about that because that was a really good scene. So tell me a little bit about the quiet car. Why is that important to the movie and the characters? Who's in the quiet car fight scene? What's going on?
Tangerine's in the quiet car.
Tangerine and
the
son. That's where they fight, right?
No, not the son, but Brad Pitt.
Oh, right. That was Brad Pitt. They were fighting everywhere in this place.
Yeah.
Wait, no, this was Lemon that was fighting in that scene.
Was the black guy?
Yeah,
Lemon?
Yes, the black guy's
Okay.
Lemon. I know, I'm getting confused. Lemon was fighting.
I get it mixed up because at the end he got the truck of tangerines.
Correct.
Yeah, but
right.
he saw that as kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Lemon and Brad Pitt, Ladybug, who were fighting, and they were in the quiet car, which apparently there's a quiet car where it's like the library, and this lady just kept looking back and going, shh, oh, sorry, ma'am, sorry, and then they'd go back to fighting, and it was still really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, they were fighting as quietly as they could.
Yeah. So that was a very good scene, but we're still missing the one important character that is throughout the whole film.
The train?
No.
The gun.
No.
Oh, the water bottle.
Water bottle.
The Fuji water
That's
bottle.
right.
Or Fiji water bottle.
That's an action figure I want, is a Fiji water bottle. Sincerely. So
That
in the
was
film-
a cool scene where you realize that bottle's gone through the entire story.
Yeah.
Yes, and you basically see a montage of the water bottle that reminds me of one of Adam's and my own personal favorite movies, Rubber,
Yes.
where it's almost like the bottle of water. Oh,
It's
by the way,
almost sentient.
yes, it has in my episode where you see its perspective on scenes throughout the whole thing. Literally, it's just hilarious. I wish, like, behind the scenes, I would see, like, the guy who put a camera on the water bottle as you're going through these things and doing cuts.
Again, a very Edgar Wright thing to do.
Yeah. So, but so the water bottle. What role does my favorite character play in this film? Can we take the water bottle out?
Well, no, because it makes Lemon fall asleep.
Yeah.
Makes him pass out.
It
Is
keeps
enchanted?
Lemon from dying.
Say what?
Is it enchanted? How does it make him fall asleep?
Because Brad Pitt brought along the sleeping powder that he was told not to.
Yes.
Because he almost killed someone with it.
Yes, you're correct. He did. Also, he stays away from what device? What does he not like to use?
Guns.
Why?
Because they're guns.
Yes,
He doesn't want to kill people.
Which is funny because when he is starting that scene in the quiet car with
He has no gun.
no, he has a gun underneath.
No, it's just his hand.
Oh, that's right.
Because he's like, because Tangerine's like, or Lemon's like, if you actually had a gun, you would use it by now.
Yeah,
No gun, just sleeping powder or
Yep.
whatever.
exactly. And oh man, that just to see him continue to consume the waters, that was just perfect because you're like, no, no.
The only time I think he fired a gun in the train is when he accidentally shot Tangerine. When they were fighting over the gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Tangerine gets it to the neck.
Yep.
Yeah, I was sad to see him go.
Yep. Both of them are great characters. I mean, Lemon survived, but you didn't know that at the time.
No, you see Lemon getting ejected from the car, and
Well, not just that, he gets shot in the chest, but
Yeah,
he had
he has
his
a
bulletproof
vest
vest on.
yeah, some of that is a little bit eye roll, but it's on the same style of the film. We didn't touch on the relation of the elders and White Death. That was really, really interesting.
Yeah, the almost Zack Snyder sucker punch style film montage with the Russian roulette going down his arm.
Oh.
That was so damn cool.
For old time's
Michael
sake.
Shannon was so good in this movie.
Should have been Christopher Walken.
No, Michael Shannon can act.
No, fine. I wanted Carver.
I think Christopher Walken was just too old. I think
Christopher
Michael
Walken is a
Shannon-
punchline now.
Did you not
Michael-
see the elder? The elder looked pretty old, although
Yeah,
he was
but it's
made to
probably
look
the
older.
elder. This guy was supposed to be badass.
Did you not see him in Bubbles of Fury? He was badass.
No, I have no problem with Christopher Walken, but it's just he's a little bit old to be the White Death.
Is he not white enough? No,
guess
no.
not.
But so tell me more about the elder, and we touched on the Russian roulette in terms of that, in terms of how that plays. how does that play towards the overall role of the film?
Well, the White Death came in and just destroyed the elders' home and village. I don't remember why.
Because he took over, basically, it was part of the Yakuza. He took over.
Yeah, it was a business thing.
Yeah.
Nothing personal, just business.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wears a demon mask or an Oni mask. The White Death does. Mm-hmm. And his favorite thing is playing Russian roulette. And
because he is Russian.
Yeah, and by doing, he does it by doing the one bullet, but instead of spinning the barrel or the chamber, whatever, I don't know guns, he rolls it down his arm.
Yeah.
And then that's how it mixes it up, and it's so damn cool.
Yeah.
Could you do that in real life?
Yeah.
So
his mask reminded me of the mask from Black Phone.
I can't watch that movie.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the mask from the
I
Black
do.
Phone?
I don't agree, but
It's not something to agree with.
Well,
I was just saying it reminded me of it.
no, I'm saying I don't
You
see
don't
why.
think that there's commonality?
Yeah, I don't.
Wasn't it weren't they both red?
No, the
No.
Black Phone mask was white.
Well, what movie am I thinking of?
I don't know. It looked like something from Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
I don't remember any masks in Sucker Punch.
My first reaction was, he is king of the Wicker people.
Batman.
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah, he
yes.
wore a red Oni mask.
Okay. So in terms of this film, if it were to highlight any other character but Brad Pitt to kind of lead you through the film, would it work?
It could, depending on who it is.
Yeah, it could work if you used the twins.
Yeah.
They're a very strong presence in the movie. The son, mainly because it's his story that started the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, we kind of did follow essentially the son throughout.
Right.
I mean,
But you're saying if you got rid of Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
you would follow the sun.
Yeah.
Or the moon.
I don't think you could get rid of Brad Pitt. I think if you put somebody who wasn't as well known as Brad Pitt.
Oh, I thought you meant getting rid of the character.
No, not make him as predominant.
Okay.
So if you would have switched him out with, made him be kind of like a minor-esque character, if you will. Although all the characters are pretty major, but if you were to have him
equalize him with everyone else.
Yeah, if you were to have him be the linchpin, if you will, where he is the
Word of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there you go. Which they weren't part of our pre-production meetings, so therefore they don't know that, but that's okay. All right, but so yeah, it would make an interesting film if you were to follow other characters. Like if you were to follow Joey King's character, I think that could have been interesting.
Yeah, if it was a Tarantino movie, he would have gone way back, in the backstory of most of those characters. We would have seen Joey King, as she was growing up and how she was treated by him and with her brothers and her relationship with her mother, maybe, or something like that.
It also would have been 3 hours long.
Sure.
Well, this one was 2 hours and 12 minutes, so we're only missing
That's nothing.
48 minutes.
That
Just
new
saying.
movie, the moon, the flowers.
The new Scorsese
The
movie.
new Scorsese movie is 3.5 hours long.
Yeah? So's Dune.
I know, you said that.
Right.
I'm just saying it's a long time.
It's
They need
not.
intermissions.
They may have it. Sometimes they do put them in movies, but that's
No,
neither
they
here-
don't. They don't do that anymore. That's what I'm saying. They need to.
They did in Titanic, I thought. When I watched Titanic in theaters, I thought.
And Titanic isn't even long anymore.
Yeah.
No, compared, I mean, for Love of Pete. But anyways, so that was essentially Bullet Train. Do we have any takes, any taglines, anything that we want to bring up?
I don't.
Or did Bullet Train meet its Kyoto stop?
I have in my notes the toilet that said "snake, do not open,"
Yeah, we didn't touch on the payoff with the snake.
and the music. Oh, the music was so good. The Japanese version of "Holding Out for a Hero."
That's okay.
Let's see. I wrote down. One could argue that the movie was about a bottle of water. Snake, don't open. I already said that. Yeah.
So why don't we talk about...
I didn't know it was an adaptation.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know it was based on a book
of a 2010 novel, Japanese novel.
Yeah,
that was
that's cool.
eventually adapted. It was apparently picked up on. Then the rights were paid for and then made into an English novel. It was the writer's first ever English translated novel, which is good for him.
Yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. But it was a very good story. I liked it a lot. It very very thoughtful. But yeah,
the fight choreography was super smart. The storytelling was super smart. The fact that everything was connected, I really liked that. It was well acted by everyone. I don't think there was one bad actor in that movie. And yeah, the blood was good.
I mean, even if it was a bad actor, it's covered up by how it was shot and the pacing of it. So therefore, your flaws aren't really shown because you're not really given deep monologues. You're not given moments of sorrow where you have. I mean, because Tangerine and Lemon had those moments,
right? And there's no lull.
You're correct.
There's no lull in the movie at all. It's everything's purposeful. There's no padding for the movie. There's no padding for time, padding for story.
Probably the slowest part of the film is when they introduced Bad Bunny's character, because it kind of took a step back because you're in that middle states of Mexico. You're getting that dusky, dirty kind of style to it.
And it's not necessary for the story either. Like, just it's a way to have Hornet into the movie, and that's about it.
You could take out the Bad Bunny character, but he's pivotal because you kind of see Ladybug's character, his luck kind of changing a little bit.
Why? He killed a guy without even wanting to.
Yeah, but that guy was trying to kill him.
Right. He would have fought him off.
Well, maybe not. Now it's not even a question. But
No.
But overall, I really enjoy this film. Any taglines, anything that we got going on?
There was only one tagline. I gotta go back to it. Sorry, I was looking at the director because he directed a lot of stuff that's similar to this movie.
Like Deadpool 2?
Yeah, Violent Night, Atomic Blonde.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know he did Violent
Atomic
Night. That was
Blonde,
great.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Fun films.
Once again, featuring Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Do you want me to give you the tagline?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of
The tagline is "The end of the line is just the beginning."
Of murder.
That's kind of lame.
murder.
Yeah.
How about Murder on the Orient Express?
Oh, I think that's been taken, and I don't think you can say Orient.
Oh, you
anymore.
can't. No.
Can't say Orient.
Murder on the Kyoto Express.
Quick Asian delivery.
Oh.
No. This Asian order has multiple sides.
Bullet to the train pan.
Bullet to the train pan?
Yeah, like bullet to the brain pan.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I've never heard of bullet to the brain pan.
When the train is walking, you don't come knocking.
What you looking at?
Speaking of, I read a thing in the trivia about this movie that bullet trains do not sway.
Yeah,
but the cameras did to give it a sense of feel.
Of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that when preparing for the trivia as well.
Yeah, and to make it look like they didn't just shoot it on two sound stages.
Yeah.
Which, they did a good job.
Yeah, which you touch on that a little bit of trivia. It was originally designed to have multiple locations in multiple cities, so on and so forth, but because this was one of the first films in the COVID restriction time period, they shot pretty much the entire thing in California on 2 sound stages, I think with one exception being the outside wedding scene of Bad Bunny, where they probably taped that in like Palm Springs.
Yeah.
So,
Good for them. Good for them for giving Bad Bunny his first acting role.
Hey, he's good, and he's actually a pretty good wrestler too. So high five.
He's a good wrestler?
Yeah.
A wrestler?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He was in like SummerSlam or wherever it was when it was taped in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. Well, good for him.
And he was part of the main event, and he carried himself very well.
I don't think he was big enough to wrestle. Wrestle.
Well, nowadays, wrestlers don't have to be huge like Hulk Hogan.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. You got Rey Mysterio out there
It's all
doing
an
flips
act.
and shit.
Well, he's always been great, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyways, so speaking of great, let's talk about Bullet Train, kind of like we talked about Empire Records. Granted, Bullet Train's only, 2 years old. Do you think 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what will happen to Bullet Train? Will it be thought after?
Here's my thoughts on movies like this. This is a take on what I call the John Wick style of movies. The flashy, very very highly choreographed fighting. Everything's all about action and fighting. You've got the John Wick movies. You got Nobody. You got that new one coming out with John Woo, the Jingle Bells or whatever it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but it's all the same. I think in 10 years people are going to forget that these style of movies existed to the point like how we think the canon action Chuck Norris movies are remembered today.
Delta Force,
Invasion USA, all those, and they're going to be looked on as fun genre films, but I don't think they're going to be looked on anything else aside from that, which is a shame because Bullet Train and the John Wick movies are very well written, well acted, well made movies, but they're just a gimmick, really.
Okay, Alison, same question.
I mean, the same premise of all these movies have been going on since the 70s, so I don't necessarily know they're going to go away. They might just change the style.
Okay.
But
all right.
I don't know. I don't. If you're making like 10 John Wick movies, they don't seem to be dying. So.
The films or John Wick?
Either.
Hi-yo.
I mean, they're also making, what you call it, TV shows about it too.
Continental. Yeah.
I don't know. This movie is just so Tarantino to me that I think people, once Tarantino stops making movies, I think people are going to continue to make movies that like almost honor him or like copy him. So it could very well continue on because he's got one movie left?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's when you're a director that has a profound way of doing things, you tend to get copied. I mean, look at Hitchcock, for Pete's sake. The guy who did It's a Wonderful Life, thank you very much. I can't remember his name to save my life, but the famous director.
It wasn't Sidney Lumet, was it?
No.
No, that was 12 Angry Men.
Which that was a good one too. But
I don't know. I hate that movie. So.
Oh, he also directed Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Oh. He had that whole.
He's just a Jimmy Stewart director.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, hold on.
She's flooded.
So my point to this, and Cecil DeVille, B. DeVille. Thank you. He's another director that people just kind of paid homage, i.e., copied, and that's just going to be how it is. Spike Lee. Mm-hmm. Another one, so on and so forth, where you find directors who are up and coming who kind of have that style or take the overall premise or concept and kind of run with that. And they have contemporaries in their days, Robert Rodriguez, so on and so forth. But
like J.J. Abrams and Steven Spielberg.
Exactly. Well, yeah, 100%. Kubrick, of course, so on and so forth. But anyways, I'm kind of going off the rim. In terms of this film, to me, I agree with Adam, and I also agree with Alison's sentiment. This film is probably going to be kind of like The Gauntlet to me, which I absolutely love. Gauntlet, one of my favorite Clint Eastwood films, period. But it's very niche piece, if you will, where it's just a good popcorn flick where I remember it because of the end scene. And that's probably going to be one of these things like, oh, have you seen Bullet Train? Oh, what? And then they talk about maybe the silent car scene, or they talk about the Hornet or whatnot. With some of the actors that are there that are going to probably stand the test of time, Brad Pitt, maybe Ryan Reynolds, so on and so forth. Sandra Bullock seems to be out of acting. This was actually probably her last acting job. This might be one of those things where it's like, okay, this was her last acting job, and people will digest it in terms of how talented her career was. Mm-hmm. and wish
Did
best.
she retire?
Yeah.
She verbally came out and retired?
She said she's going to stop acting.
She wants to focus on a family. She wants to focus on that.
Was this
aspect of
before her partner died recently?
I don't know.
That's sad.
That wasn't part of the trivia.
That wasn't in IMDb.
I didn't hear that she retired.
Yeah,
That she
she's
came out
turned
and
down.
said that.
Supposedly, she turned
That's
down
a shame.
multiple $1 million.
That's a shame that this was her last movie then.
It wasn't bad.
No, but she wasn't
She was a voice.
She wasn't that good. I mean, she showed up at the end with like a half mullet haircut.
Yeah,
and a crushed car.
I mean, she's better than that.
Yeah, but she definitely had some intensity to it.
Yeah,
and,
sure. Yeah.
But so that was Bullet Train, and it looks like we're going to let Bullet Train rest in the station until its next ride.
Well, it needs to be repaired, so.
Well, it needs to be decommissioned.
That's right.
Unfortunately, that thing was completely blown out. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And that was section 2 of our ensemble dive-in, episode 2 of our part 2 of our dive-in. There you go. Third time's a charm. Speaking of third time, next coming up, we're going to talk about apparently the contested film Predator. So be on the lookout for that one. But thank you very much for tuning in. Adam, final thoughts, and Allison, then we'll go ahead and just let this train ride.
My final thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched this again. I probably won't watch it again for a long time. It doesn't, even though it is like Tarantino, it doesn't hold up like a Tarantino movie for me where I could just watch it, like just turn it on and watch it. But I feel like everybody should see it if they haven't seen it. It was a good movie. I'm good for a long time for this movie.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Adam.
I am on the complete opposite side. I will probably have this on all the time because it's just such a fun movie, something that I can just look up and have a good time with. And yeah, I'm glad I watched it again. I remember seeing it in the theater going, that was good. I don't know if I want to watch it again. When I watched it again, I'm like, I want to watch it some more now that I did it. So yeah, so thank you for, who was it? Alison. Thank you for choosing this movie. I'm glad we get to watch it again. And like Roman said, tune into our next episode, our final episode in the celebrating ensembles with the 1987 movie Predator. And we'll see you then. So just remember, keep celebrating cinema.